Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Dawn.
I'm Jim. Bill.
And you guys know us because I cut all my hair off, and your response was amazing, and the video went viral. So we've been talking about arguing and in relationships. We've been talking about what happens to the woman when an argument takes place, what happens to the man. And because arguing is something that does not normally get discussed in the beginning of a relationship, it just kind of boom, it happens. So with that being said, tonight we want to talk about how to know if your marriage is actually under attack. Do you have a problematic marriage, or do you have a good marriage that's actually under attack?
I have been a Christian for a long time, but in the last couple of years, I've really been able to experience the Lord. And what I mean is, I've accepted that ours is not a world of flesh and blood, but a world of powers and principalities. Mm-hmm. The world that we live in is one of powers and principalities. If your marriage, I'm going to say, if you believe your marriage to be flesh and blood and you're arguing with each other, you're having flesh and blood arguments between a man and a woman. I believe ours to be a union before the Lord God Almighty, made to shine and glorify Him. And if we're not doing that, when we know we can, and that's our natural position, why is that? Because it's not what either of us are trying to do. We know that each of us are before the Lord as one. But if we are being driven apart from each other, and apart from the ability to conceive, comfortably praying together to get from what's in between us out, that's a victory for the enemy. Our choice is to never not be able to pray together. And we can have an argument, and it's like a cancer cell in a body. The body attacks it, it's gone. The body attacks it, it's gone. The body knows what to do. Mm-hmm. Every little argument, the enemy's looking for an opportunity. We know how to pray together. We know how to sometimes it's just a real simple, baby, I'm sorry. Right. Give her a kiss, and she frowns at me, and she knows why, and I know why she's frowning at me, and then we're done. Right. But occasionally, the cracks and fissures and openings in Herman and me will line up that the enemy is able to get a tiny foothold. Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing thing. It's like a crick in your neck. You think, oh, that's going to be better tomorrow. And by 4 days, it's just paralyzing. You think, how did it get so bad? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we've experienced being led away from each other in prayer, being led away from the Lord by what's divided us, and being led away from the opportunity to come together in prayer and to move forward as a couple.
Well, I want to address the fact that you're saying it's under attack, and couples have disagreements. And so when they have a disagreement and they're under attack, how do they know the difference? And so the difference then, from what I'm hearing you say and from what we've talked about, would be that every thought that's conceivable during that time is, I'm trying to make sure that I'm building my case of how I'm right. And I'm building this case. I'm building my case.
Protect her from me.
To protect my feelings. Mm-hmm. And you're building your case. And so instead of building a case here, we're building a case here. Mm-hmm. And so it builds a wall. Mm-hmm. And whatever we're building is dividing us. And that's when you know you're under attack, because it's almost like, when you're in a disagreement, I don't know about you guys, but like, I know for me, sometimes I can feel that I want to get back on the other side. I want to get back over there, but it's you can feel that, like, you're not in control. You're like, you want to get back over there, but you're not in control.
There's certain very important fundamentals that keep you from getting back there.
Right. And so once you recognize that you're having the conversations in your head, like, God, I wish this was over with. I wish we can get past this. But you're not doing anything to make it shut down. You're not doing anything.
And you're actually doing things to exacerbate the division.
Exactly.
An inch at a time, a little at a time.
Right.
And the thing is, one of the ingredients is time.
Right.
So if you do nothing but stay away a little longer, you're building the case a little bit stiff.
Yeah, and it's sort of like you've made bricks, but they're made out of just mud and water. But then time causes it to dry, and those bricks are getting hard, and they're building up. And so the time, it's almost like the best thing to do is look at the time, recognizing, okay, this is when we have the argument. We need to be running toward each other. Let's run towards each other. Let's run towards each other. And if you feel like you can't run towards each other, and you feel like you can't pray together, that's when you know that your marriage is under attack. And the thing to do, if your marriage is under attack and you recognize it, there's only one answer. And that means you have to submit yourself to the Lord. You have to.
I hope I can say this.
Sure.
But we discovered this recently, both of us. I wrote her a note. And I said, I want you to see what it feels like to think about praying together with me right now. And what that feels like to you, that's a victory for the enemy. And that confounded the enemy, because it was the truth before God, and it brought us together in prayer, and we recognized the thing. And some of you will probably experience this, a lot of you, if you can't remember what the fight was about, but you're a whole bunch madder today than the day the fight happened, it's unlikely that it's still about what you think you're fighting about.
Yeah, that's true. So, again, it just boils down to...
What does the enemy want to do? He wants to...
divide, kill, steal, divide, and conquer.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, if the behavior, whether it's yours or theirs...
is uncharacteristic, trust what the Lord's taught you about that person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hopefully that helps someone out there to know if your marriage is under attack. And our next video, we're going to talk about, do women decide not to have sex with their husbands when we have an argument? Do we decide? Don't answer that question.
I won't.
We're going to get back with you. Well, save that. Save that.
Because I have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Absolutely
you don't even
no
know.
idea.
Because that doesn't happen in our house.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've heard stories.
Okay. So we'll be, stay with us. We'll be back. Thanks. Bye. Good job, babe.
Much better.